Welcome back. You see a smile on my face? You see a smile on my face? That's what happens when we get to go ahead and talk some football after a well-deserved victory in the land of Mayo. But you know what? We're gonna get into it. Welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We're gonna have some fun tonight. All right, Sammy, bring us in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, we are back. We're back, people. We're here to talk some Colts football. On this Victory Tuesday. You know what, Pat? It's always great. It's always great seeing you on here. Okay, it's always great seeing you. It's even better when we see you after dubs, because I mean, dubs just make the world go round. You know.
Dubs always make the world a better place.
Exactly. You understand. And you know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't just go ahead and say, welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We're talking Colts and everything in between. And you know, we you know us, but we gotta go ahead and just put this out there in no particular order. But you know, we have my brother here, Big P.
What's happening?
Yeah, exactly. I like it. The solo enthusiasm. I appreciate it.
I thought you was going with where can they find you on your social medias, and you stop.
Well,
so
no.
I was kind of waiting for that to come out.
Well, I gotta remember that we don't have to do it twice, because normally I want to make sure that they know ahead of time, but then they also make sure that they know at the end of things. But you know, we'll just go ahead and keep it for the end, because you know what, they for the most part know where to find us. But you know, we're gonna talk some W football today. All right, and I'm CJ. Just refer to me as CJ. You can call me Chris if you want, but you know what, I'm going by CJ these days, okay? Because it's easier. Not just that, but you know, that's what I use on social media. So you know what, either way, it's just like you guys know what it is. But before we get into any and everything, let's just go ahead and just get it out the way. Whether you call it a TD, a tutty in for 6, touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an NFL official sportsbook, or an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. We don't care how they score them. We want to bet on touchdowns, and DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering. If you're ready to place your first bet, you could try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. I'm going to say we've actually been pretty consistent. I think last week we talked about, what was it? I think it was a Pittman touchdown, was it?
Actually, a Josh Downs.
Josh Downs, which got it.
And if you would have listened to the fat guy, you would have banked out, baby.
Listen, I like literally, if they go and they're betting on what we're putting out there, more often than not, they're going to get it. Because I'm saying it's just like when I said mine, we got it. I think when Acosta said his when he was on, he got it. When you said yours, Josh Downs would have got that. So you know what? Let's do what's this week gonna look like? What do we want to do this week, Pat? I want to go ahead and get this out the way right now.
JT
anytime TD.
Anytime TD.
All right, let's do it. JT anytime TD. You know what? That's the JT anytime. Book it right now. All right. And, you know, we're going to double down next week. So this way, or not next week, but we're going to double down on Thursday too, just so that you know. But if you're ready to do a touchdown dance of your own, new DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's SICKSPORTS, all caps, no spaces. That's code SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
All right. And so with that being said, listen, we got the we got the bill pays out the way. So now you know what we gonna do. We gonna talk about this team. Cause I mean, division game, we were disappointed by the game with Jacksonville this past week. And you know, we went into this one not knowing what was going on. First off, can we just address the elephant in the room where AR literally was like a last minute like emergency QB3? Like, what the heck was up with that? I need to understand because that was strange.
Yeah, it's strange for the most part, but it wasn't necessarily out of realm of the NFL.
Yeah.
You got one side saying, I'm good to go. You got the other side being cautious. Management always wins.
Yeah.
Management won. So they said, okay, you're ready to go, but we're not going to play you. But you can suit up. And if we need you on third string, then we'll use you. But if we don't need you, you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard when teams are taking caution with their player banged up.
Yeah.
You know, and as you see, yeah, did he need the reps? Yeah. You know, there's another whole game he missed not getting the reps, but I'd rather he miss this one game than six more games or 8 more games. So to draft a QB at number 4 and to let him to go out and do more damage to himself is not smart.
Yeah.
I think you do have to run caution with him at all points.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to get better. He's going to get his reps. He's going to learn to slide. He's going to learn not to take those big hits. You know, it just all comes with time. You know, CJ, we've talked about this in length, you know, how we're going to have growing pains for the next few years with this young QB. Doesn't matter that it's Anthony Richardson. It wouldn't matter if it was Peyton Manning. You have to go through those growing pains because they have to go through them.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that really keeps me enamored with him is the fact that he wants to be great. He wants to be out on that field. He wants to win. He's not here just for a paycheck. Now, the paycheck's mighty, mighty nice. Absolutely. But this young kid wants to win. You know, this young kid is nothing but ball. He loves to play. He wants to win. He's going to take us to a championship and win.
Yeah.
We just have to live through the growing pains. We'll be all right.
Yeah. I think we I think we are, and this is something that I've kind of come to the realization about when it comes to AR. It's the fact that we've become a very microwaved reaction type of fan base in a way.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, we know that we knew that Anthony Richardson was gonna potentially be a slow cook, right? Because we know that he needs time to develop. We know he's gonna take his bumps and bruises. You know, there might be some spots where you gotta, stir up a little bit, do a little bit more. But the thing is, because of how things are with this team, we're going to have 2 reactions, and those 2 reactions are going to be based on wins and losses. So now, being that we are looking at everything after a win, being 500, now everything's going to be all the conversation is going to be around, well, should we go forward with Flacco or should we go forward with AR? And if I'm being honest, we need not really look. We're looking at the wrong side of the ball when we're talking about what we need to do to move forward to win. as far as I'm concerned, we need to be making sure that we're consistently looking at the defense, being that this was the first game all season that we didn't let up 100 yards on the ground or in the air. And I mean, maybe part of it is because of the fact that Will Levis is a sack of spoiled mayonnaise. But I mean, it could just be that we actually ran into something that is going to be a little bit more significant when it comes down to how we're viewing the actual team itself. And I mean, but and once again, like I said, we are a fan base that wants so badly just to win because of the fact that we have not had a whole lot of winning recently either way. But I think we just also want to justify some of the things that we say, like, we want Gus Bradley out. That's one thing. But then also let's talk about the fact that there's still a good subsect of people that don't want Chris Ballard around either.
Yeah. Yep. And this is the greatest thing about being a fan. You can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. And CJ, you can have your opinion. But during game time, we still cheer for the shoe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So regardless of who you're talking to, regardless of what opinion they have on whatever topic you're talking about, just be mindful of that, you guys.
Yeah.
Because there's enough BS in this world. We don't need, as fans, we don't need to come after each other. Just because I think differently than you, or you think differently than me. That's just ridiculous. And nobody's going to know who is right until the end of the damn year.
Oh, absolutely.
So there you go. Okay, so you brought up the AR Flacco, and that's already in the chat. Ben's talking about it right now. But there's only one way to find out who is right. Chris, if you say keep AR in, let him run, let him grow, let him get his lumps out of the way, and we have a shit season, the people claiming or screaming for Flacco to run out the season is going to be on the side of right.
I mean, but
because they've got something to say. See, I told you we should have played Flacco. But if Steichen ends up playing Flacco to the end of the season and he shits to bed, now you're saying to them, see, I told you we should have played Anthony. So you're not going to know whose opinion is going to be correct until the end of the year anyways. And even then, it's still a 50-50 chance because you don't know if one or the other is going to play better than the other one.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, you know? So what I hold my hat on to is he's 21 years old. He's basically still in his rookie season because he got hurt so early last season.
Yeah.
He's going to have to go through those growing pains, and we're going to have to sit here and go through those growing pains with him. So I would rather take the rest of this season, take our lumps, get the growing pains out of the way. Come next season, there's not going to be so many growing pains. There's not going to be so many lumps. And by that third season, better watch the hell out because there's nothing to do but win.
Yeah.
Because at that point, then if he hasn't learned everything he's supposed to learn by then you can call for his job. Yeah. Then you can call to bring somebody else in. But Chris, we just got off of this quarterback merry-go-round with all these old-ass quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And Carson Wentz not even old, but he didn't work out. Nobody's worked out. So you got Joe Flacco losing to Jacksonville and beating Tennessee by 3 points. And you want to say he should be the starter? That's all. That's the only two stat lines I'm going to throw out there for that conversation piece. He lost to Jacksonville, and he beat Mayo's by 3 points.
Yeah.
I'm glad we won. But I want AR to have his reps. I want AR to go through his learning pains. I want AR to get his lumps now, get him out of the way.
Yeah.
So we can keep moving this franchise back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And you know, I want to, because like I said, I like to simultaneously make sure that you and I are commenting back and forth, but also like to read the chat. And I got to kind of go back to Ben. I got to go back to Ben Banachie. I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher your name or anything, but you know, there's a couple interesting comments, and you know, the one of them is just like Flacco's better, and I've said it. Flacco is the better passer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the better option overall.
He is. He is a better quarterback. He's got 13 damn more years in this league than AR. He's going to be a better quarterback than most starting quarterbacks on other teams because he's got that knowledge behind those years of experience.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Flacco's not going to be here for the next 12, 13, 15 years.
Well, not
AR
just that.
is.
Well, not just that, but also you're also dealing with an offense much like what we had last year with Minshew. Yes, you have people who can pass the ball, but the thing is, you're also limiting the playbook by having somebody who isn't necessarily in the, I'm going to say, who doesn't have the physical skills to be able to do it. You can only pass but for so long before teams decide to key in on that. And so if we're talking about that, then cool. Now, the thing is, he also says ARB is trash. Okay, you know, if you want to say that, then fine. But also, let me just go ahead and tell you right now. Right now, AR is looking like a better option than two other quarterbacks that were actually in his draft class. And the thing is, he's also younger because, mind you, we went out there against Will Levis. Will Levis, I was told by numerous people, including some Colts fans, that Will Levis could potentially end up being the most polished QB because of the fact that not only one was he the most pro-ready quarterback, but also he played in a pro-style offense when he was in Kentucky. Now, that's what I was told. But the thing is, this man was out there shooting off web shooters like he was Spider-Man on a play where he didn't throw a touchdown. And then you want to make me believe that, okay, cool. Now, the thing is, if you want to strictly go ahead and criticize AR, then that's fine, because guess what? You're criticizing him based on inexperience. But the great part about it is that AR is also the youngest QB in that draft class, which means not only do you have more time to be able to develop him, but you also have more time to be able to work within that system as well. So cool. Okay, if you want to say that. Now, the thing is, they say you played the worst offense in the world. Fantastic. Point to me when AR played cornerback. Because what I'm seeing is that you played the worst offense in the world. Okay, cool. Last I heard, our defense wasn't supposed to be
do with AR.
Like we went out there, mind you, we went out against his team. Now, mind you, we played the worst offense in the world. Okay, fine. Our defense hasn't exactly been up to snuff recently. But I mean, you're pointing out that Tony Pollard had 94 yards alone. You gave up 100. Last time I checked, 94 is less than 100. And it was actually 93 rushing yards. 93 is less than 100. And also, Will Levis threw for 95 yards, and 95 is also less than 100. So this is the first time that we didn't let up 100 yards through the air, and we didn't let up 100 yards on the ground. So there was nothing in that statement that was incorrect. I'm just making sure we know. But also, our offense went up against the Titans, who at the time I believe were the number 2 or 3 defense in the league total. So let's also let's bring it back and make sure that we're being completely objective. If you don't like AR, then cool, that's fine. But the thing is, let's also make sure that if we're going to point out stats, that we're not only correct, but that we're also making sure that we're speaking from a place of being true and not just speaking biased, but speaking statistically. So yes. Now back to what we were talking about. I mean, honestly, I was very, very, very happy with the way that the defense did, because our defense, even though, like I said, they gave up some runs, for the most part, I mean, they looked like they were playing, other than the fact that we still didn't get to the quarterback, they were playing actually pretty balls to the wall.
They were 1,000 times more aggressive this game,
Oh, absolutely.
and it showed. I mean, Gus even this is the most I've ever seen Gus blitz, not on just a game, but an entire friggin' season.
Yeah.
So did they do really well picking that blitz up? Yes, they did. Give Tennessee's O-line a lot of damn credit.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
really well, but I'm going to definitely give it to our defense for being aggressive, making the stops what they're supposed to, not giving up those stupid 10, 15 chunk play yards, letting them get back into first down territory. I don't know what the stat line was for the 3 and outs on Tennessee. Adam J, if you're still with me, pull that up for me real quick. But I've been pitching all year about the 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Already. And, they fixed a lot of that this game. So I was really, really happy to see that.
Yeah. No, and I think that was more so probably the thing that was just most important was the fact that even though they weren't getting to the quarterback, the way that because it's crazy how much the flip has been, because mind you, the flip was that, or the thought was that the secondary was going to suffer and the front seven was going to be okay. And here we are 6 weeks into the season, and now the secondary we trust more than the front seven. And that in and of itself is absolutely ridiculous. And also, big shout out to Julian Blackmon, because he's somebody where we know he's been hurt, but man, when he's out there, he makes plays. I think everybody was upset with him when he had that one miss pick on that heave that Will Levis threw, but the one that he caught going over to the sideline was just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, he really turned the afterburners on to get to that too. Adam J, I'm looking for the Colts 3 and out stat. You guys, we haven't forgot y'all. Teresa, Stacy, Kevin, Brandon, how's everybody doing? Clayton, how are you, sir? Because I'm not saying your gamer name.
Yeah, and we I want to say that this game, well, with it being the first division game, this is the game that also puts us over 500, or puts us at 500. I believe that this is something where I know that we see that a lot of our coordinators, a lot of the people on our team, don't have social media, don't have Twitter, but I'm pretty sure somebody got those messages over to them, because
they got them. They got ghost accounts.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Trust me, they got them.
Oh yeah. But like I said, it's just they hear the rumblings, and I think the rumblings for Gus was that, hey, you got to fix this, because we're going to be honest, you have to fix this as soon as possible. Otherwise, this is otherwise we I think they said it's just if we end up losing this game based on defense alone, you might as well just bring your stuff with you to Nashville, because you're going to have to hitchhike home or catch an Uber back or something.
Yeah.
Because it'll be no way that we go ahead and do that. But based on what we saw in this game, how do you build on momentum moving forward?
Find the good, duplicate it. Go back, watch the tapes, find the bad, and fix it.
Yeah,
that's it. It's the easiest formula there is.
Yeah.
Hey, these blitzes, we didn't get to them, but the pressure we got was astronomical. We need to keep that in our game plan.
Yeah.
Hey, DeAndre Hopkins, man, we should have pressed him some more on this play and this play, and we didn't. So let's fix that. Let's start pressing these receivers. Find the good, duplicate it. Find the bad, fix it.
Oh, absolutely.
And you continuously do this week in and week out. You have to.
Yeah, and I think I think that's also a good momentum game, especially when you know that you have Buck coming back this week, or at least that's what the rumblings say. And you have a game like that, and then now you're going into Miami this week, you have a chance to string together a good amount of games where, you know, you have these teams that are fighting just like we are. Because I think they're going to be without Tua again this week. So they have to find a way to win, and we have to find a way to make sure that we're staying with the Texans. Because right now, technically, they're 2 games ahead of us. You could say 3 if, you know, we're talking about the fact that they won the division game against us week 1. But now, you know, you have to basically win and hope that they go and they drop one soon, because, you know, that makes the picture a little bit easier from a competitive standpoint, of course.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have to, but I do want to make sure that we get to some other things in this chat, because I know people are talking and people are saying some things. So yeah. So
I want to cover Rex's real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says, "How about Womack? Dude's been a still." Rex, I made a comment to Zach Hicks, which, if you don't know him on Twitter, he's part of
The Athletic.
No, Locked In.
Oh, Locked On Colts?
Locked In Colts with Jake Arthur and SI and all that.
Oh, I thought you meant Kiefer. I thought you, my bad.
No, Zach Hicks. Now, Kiefer's still with the Athletic, yes. But he'd been making quite a few posts about Womack, and they're all positive. So I made a comment. Looks like somebody has a man crush. LLL. I do too. I am Rex. I am definitely man crushing on Womack right now. For him to play the way he has played, getting picked up off a practice squad. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Awesome find there from Ballard. You know, and Ballard has not been very good with our cornerbacks.
Pat.
It's true.
Pat,
it's true.
You gonna talk about your daddy like that?
It just a little bit, just a little bit. But, and that's the thing. I can admit the truth.
Yeah,
you know, he kills linebackers. He kills defensive tackles. He kills the ends. Bringing in Julian Blackman, before that Malik Hooker. You know, he can find the safeties, but cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback has been rough. Marvell Tell, Quincy Wilson.
And the list keeps going. I done forgot about Quincy Wilson.
We all did.
Yeah,
sorry for bringing that back up.
He was a bad one. But yeah, so to find Womack sitting on the practice squad and the talent that he's actually got, you know, he's not going against scrubs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, he's going against some damn good receivers.
Yeah. And not only that, but the thing is, it's like with him, I think with him coming over from San Fran, that made a difference. Because the thing is, in that system, you almost have to know how to cover a plethora of people, because they have their corners out there guarding wide receivers. They have their corners out there guarding the Christian McCaffreys. They have their corners out there guarding George Kittle. So, I mean, they have the versatility. So with that, I was like, okay, we can absolutely, you know, this is something to build on. I mean, like I said, it's just like I think the move itself was questionable because of the fact that it was another practice squad grab. But I think it's also something where it's just like, okay, you did go after somebody who had that proven experience where, you know, they may go with, you know, another type, even though he had the experience. Now, moving forward, don't know exactly what they're going to do because, like I said, he could be a permanent fix or he could be somebody who's just really hungry, not looking to end up on a practice squad again, in his own words. So, I mean, he could have somebody who's just really just was a diamond in the rough, which still fits that Ballard mold. But we're going to have to see exactly how that happens moving forward because he's had a string of good games. I mean, Gus had great things to say, which kind of irritated me because he pulled Sam Womack out of the Jags game for freaking Dallas Flowers when he let up an 85,000-yard touchdown. So, I mean, let's just be as very
Gus
honest about
Gus
that.
Can't do that shit no more, can he?
No, absolutely not. So but you know what? Gus is good for one of those every year. I mean, we've seen it year in and year out. We've seen that he will take out a corner that we know is good, put in somebody has no business being on the field, and watch them get beat like a drum at an HBCU. Like it's yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was just like when I saw that, I was just like, this is Brandon Facyson and Isaiah Rodgers all over again.
All over again. I like the comment that Sean made. He says both of our good cornerbacks came from waivers.
Yeah,
which is very, very true.
yeah.
Now, don't take me wrong. I think Juju Brents is stellar cornerback, but man, kid plays hard, he gets hurt.
Yeah,
Just the way it is. Same way with Bob Sanders. Everybody loved Bob Sanders when he was on the field.
yeah.
But after the second year of him playing like a madman, injuries start piling up.
Everything just started to, and the thing is, stuff like that, it catches up with you, which makes it a little bit tougher because you have to be able to be on the field. But the problem was that when he's on the field, he's making an impact. But there was a lot of times where he wasn't on the field. I think at one point in his career, out of possible 95 games, he'd only played about 47, which was tough because you saw the impact that he had. The Super Bowl year, we like when he wasn't playing in those games, Super Bowl year, we struggled on defense. But then when he was back in, I mean, he was blowing folks up.
Yeah, and Adam just put in all caps Jalen Jones. Yes, that was a Ballard draft that has turned into a stellar piece. Absolutely. But you're going to swing and miss on draft picks. You absolutely are.
Yeah.
And Ballard, in my opinion, has swung and missed more times on cornerbacks than he has any other position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not saying that he can't draft a corner because, look, he found Brents, he found Jones. And Jones is, what, a 6th-round pick?
7th.
And he beat out, I can't even remember that kid's name. It was a 3rd-round pick.
Darius Rush.
There you go. And I think Kansas City picked him up from our practice squad. I don't even know if he's playing yet or not.
I think last time I saw he was in Pittsburgh, but that's like the last time that I saw anything with Darius Rush. So
okay. So yeah, he can find him. And you're going to swing and miss on a lot of positions. It's just the nature of the beast. And we talked about this last week, Chris. That's why Ballard likes having all those draft picks.
Yeah.
Because he knows the ratio of who's going to make it, who's not.
Yeah.
And the more draft picks you got, your ratio is going to be higher on wins versus misses.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing, I think the only reason why is for me, when we're talking about going after corner, I think you have to be willing to you have to be willing to swing a little bit higher when it comes to that. And the only reason why I say that is just because see what the league has evolved to. The league has evolved into where everything is passing oriented. I mean, if you want to see exactly how much you need to really just go ahead and have that secondary solidified, look at last night's game. Last night's game, you can barely touch the quarterback today. I mean, look at what happened last night when they had Aaron Rodgers. Dude had Aaron Rodgers, held him up as he sacked him, and literally made little to no contact in terms of actually hitting him, and he still called roughing the passer. So yes, we can go ahead. You can basically rush the quarterback to throw off cadence, but you can't actually go and hit them. So the thing is, ultimately, it is going to absolutely be it's going to be as advantageous as possible to make sure that your secondary is shored up no matter what. And, like I said, Ballard hasn't done the best job at drafting. I think even when we talk about like secondary, it hasn't done the best job with drafting safety. Because honestly, it's just like, yes, Nick Cross now is looking a lot better and is being surprising. But the thing is, Malik Hooker, while he was a good prospect, never stayed healthy. And also, Clayton Gathers was somebody else who I believe was a Ballard pickup too, who was never able to stay healthy. I mean, more often than not, it's just like safety has been a miss. So, I mean, when it comes to secondary, it's really, really that's one thing that he hasn't been able to be consistent with, which, I mean, honestly, it's just like maybe finesse it with a trade or something. But the thing is, it's just like I have a feeling that because of the fact that Womack is doing well right now, he's not going to make a move at all.
Probably not.
But I don't think that changes the fact that the best way to hide, and I'm going to say the best way to hide a weakness is to make sure that you're putting together a scheme that actually looks really good, or a scheme that actually works really well. Like what you see with what's happening with Minnesota with what's his name? With Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
How, I mean, nobody's really a household name out there, but that defense is getting it done. So, I mean, honestly, it's just like if you get creative with your schemes and you go out there and you make sure that you're being exotic with the play calling and that you're sending different guys, that you're sending these cornerback blitzes, putting these guys out there. And mind you, we have athletes, because if we're being honest, Ballard goes according to RES scores when he's drafting. So it's not like we don't have guys who are athletic. We just know that it's just like use that athleticism. Throw something out there. Disguise coverages. I mean, heck, what's the name? I think they had a couple plays from the Patriots game versus the Texans this past week. They were throwing blitzes at them that they didn't even see, and CJ was getting blindsided. Like, you got to be willing to, I'm going to say, be up to date, because like I said, this isn't the Legion of Boom where the defense was dominant back when Obama was president. I mean, we're talking about a defense that you have to play according to not just how the game has evolved to now. We have to play according to how the rules are now too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And every team is different. You have to play every team different. You can't have a shell defense that's going to cover every game. And it seems to me that that's kind of way Gus is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is my foundation defense. This is the way we're going to do it. Every once in a while, we'll sprinkle in this. We'll sprinkle in that. And he plays it like that damn near every game. He did in this last game against Tennessee, and it showed.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does with Denver. Now that, he's got a win under his belt, held him under 100 yards rushing, 100 yards passing. Let's see if he keeps it up or if he goes back.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid, and if my knucklehead can remember, past more than 2 hours ago, that's what he did in the last 3 years. He would come out and we'd beat the shit out of Kansas City defensively. Yeah. But then the very next game, we'd go right back to that shell.
Yeah.
That standard shell that gets our ass kicked.
I think and I don't know whether this is because of a Ballard thing, but the thing is, I think, like somebody like Shane, to me, he's giving 100% every single time that he goes out there. He's not trying to just go ahead and play conservative. He's trying to make sure that he attacks and that he goes forward. For me, it always seems like Gus Bradley is coaching with a certain amount of thought where he's just safe. Like, he's good. Like, when you see somebody who really, really, really understands that nothing that they're doing is guaranteed and that you have to show up on a week-to-week basis and deliver, otherwise your ass is grass, that's when you see the best of what it is. But for me, Gus doesn't coach like his job is on the line. Gus coaches like he's been told, we'll see what happens this year, and then we'll go from there. Like I said, in case you have some injuries, you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. We got you covered. Like it's just like, because even if you have your main guys that are hurt, there's defenses that even when their guys are hurt, you have other guys who are stepping up because they know for a fact they have to.
Yep.
So we have to be able to really just hone in on the fact that, I think every single week Gus has to feel like there is hellfire under his ass, and literally we are going to either throw his stuff out of the Colts offices in Westfield, or we're going to leave all his luggage wherever city we're in whenever we play away. Like that's where it has to be. That's where it has to kick in. Like, okay, yeah, you gotta really, really, really hone in and do what you gotta do.
He better take some Uber money with him.
I'm listening.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, but dude, we've had a shit ton of comments and questions.
Let's get all of them.
And we're running out of time. It was a good win. It was a good team win. It was good to see the defense being aggressive. It was good seeing the offense make some big splash plays.
Yeah.
Some smaller clock eaten up plays.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a full gambit of what this team actually can do versus not seeing anything like the Jags game.
Yeah.
So it's good. It was a good win. Hey, Sammy, throw up homage real quick. There we go. Gus, I know it ain't Monday, but I got it on, baby. I've been talking about how soft and comfortable this is.
It
From
looks
homage.
comfortable. It looks
Oh
comfortable.
my God. I'm telling you right now, I could stay in this 24/7. It's so damn comfortable.
Yeah.
So, you guys, if you believe anything I ever say, believe this about homage. Homage specializes in ultra comfy, high quality looking repping sports, pop culture, and more legendary moments. Learn more about Homage with the link in the description. Check them out, you guys. You are not going to be sorry. I can promise you that.
And I'll tell you, and you know what? Pat's going to kill me, but you know what? I have no problem telling you because it speaks to the product. Pat was over there fighting to stay awake earlier. And you want to know why? Because of that comfortable ass hoodie that he has on right now. And honestly, let's just be completely real. We'll probably give this maybe about another like 5 to 10 minutes, and he's probably going to be asleep as soon as this goes off.
Yeah. It's 3 minutes to 8, and I'm old. So when it hits 8, I'm going out, man. I'm tired. Let's get to some comments real quick. Sammy, can you bring up the first one? You got to scroll back quite a ways. Chat, you guys are killing it tonight. I love it. Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Here we go. Adam J says Gus was on an awkward island on the sideline Sunday. I yelled some shit to him on the sideline from my premium seats. Good job, Adam J. Do us proud. But tell us what you said. Can't just tell us what you yelled. You got to tell me what you yelled.
Yeah, it's probably for the best because that might get flagged on YouTube. So we thank you for that. We thank you for that. And then we have some other ones. I think Eric Blue Meanie, who we'll have on here on Thursday, he says, Adam J, I was right behind the Colts. Benson was shouting at Gus. Even got a look when I yelled, Gus, you suck. Thank you. Good
job, Meanie. Good job, Meanie.
But yeah, and then also he says, Sean Conkright said that he's not really good at drafting safety either, although it's looking better. Zach Hayes said he's on Pittsburgh but doesn't play much in regards to Darius Rush. And then Zach Hayes says, do we think Debo gets activated off IR this week or Defo? Does JT come back this week? We need this W. I don't see a reason why both of them can't be back. I know that DeForest Buckner today, they released a video where he was doing some hands and I'm going to say footwork today with one of the trainers.
And he was driving off that foot that he had that sprain on. So that's a good sign.
Yes.
Now, will they activate him? I don't know. Hell, I thought last week on Thursday's show that Anthony was playing.
Yeah.
They dressed him, but they didn't play him. So I don't know. That's another marquee player that you've got to, take caution with.
Yeah.
He's best being out 2, 3, 4 games, 5 games versus 13 games.
Yeah.
So take caution with him. That's how good he is, and that's how bad you need him back on that field.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then
So,
we got then
hold on. Shit. I'm not saying his gamer tag because it kills me. Enormous Mule.
Egregious Mule. There you go.
Egregious. That's it. Maybe that's why I didn't want to say it because I can't read it right.
It's okay.
He says, "Are we happy with 14? I'm really starting to like him big time." Yes, we've always been happy with 14. We've always seen the potential, but we've never actually seen the product match the potential until this year.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes, we absolutely like it. I would like it even more if they put him in better positions to get more balls.
And so, but I think they're putting him. I think they're putting him in the best position possible. I just what we're seeing now is the fact that Alec Pierce was very boomer bust, right? It's just like because he had games where he would be, we saw he would get 4 or 5 catches in a game and he'd be all over the field, and then the next game he'd be completely non-existent. But now we're seeing him just being able to be more consistent. But then also, let's talk about the fact that Alec Pierce, I like Alec Pierce. He's not the best route runner, but he's a crazy deep threat because he has the speed and he has the height to really just go out there and go 50-50 with, anything in terms of contested catches. But he's another element that we've been waiting to kind of come out. And if we're being real, Alec Pierce and Josh Downs, I think right now are going to be the wide receivers who benefit most in this offense because Josh Downs is the best route runner. I say it every week, and he proves it every week. But then also, let's talk about the fact that it's just like you have a deep threat with Alec Pierce. You have Josh Downs, who on the touchdown pass that he caught, it was a beautiful route that he ran because he completely faked the safety into moving in towards the field. So that gave him that free release to be able to go to the back of the end zone by himself. And I mean, you don't do that unless you can really go out there and run some really elite routes.
Absolutely.
So we're seeing it on display every single week, just how good he can be. And it's coming together. I think people are mad at Pittman because he's just like, oh, he didn't step up and become wide receiver 1. But the thing is, we saw exactly what he did. L'Jarius Sneed got $23 million a year. And now, I mean, he's out there just mossing him like grown man style. And that's what you have Michael Pittman for, because we just need not forget that Michael Pittman may not show up in terms of having a lot of receptions or having a lot of yards. But when you need clutch receptions, when you need those clutch plays, those clutch touchdowns, he's got you. He's got you. So, I mean, the complexion of this team on offense, it looks different. And I think if you're expecting it to be, a Peyton Manning offense where you had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, please lower your expectations. But it's not lowering your expectations because this team is worse or anything like that, or we're not as talented. Lower your expectations because this offense, we've seen it week to week, just how good they can potentially be when everybody's clicking and everybody's on the same page. Hell, they kept Joe Flacco pretty much clean the whole entire game. And this is without having, I think it was Will Friesen, without having, did Ryan Kelly play this last week? I think he played this last week.
He did play, but he left the game. Yeah,
he left the game, and you still were able to operate this offense behind guys who were backups.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just what it is. Like, that's what we're dealing with in terms of this team. But I think, like I said, all this talk around the offense, we need not worry about the offense. The defense just needs to get better, and as long as they get better, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, and if Gus can keep them aggressive, they will definitely get better. But this this bend and break bullshit just doesn't work. This defense was not built that way. I'm sorry, it was not. This defense is strong. This defense is fast.
Yep.
This defense is hungry. This defense needs to be aggressive so it can play to the talent that it has.
Yeah.
This conservative crap's got to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be out the way.
Boss, I'm getting the wrap it up sign.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, so with that being said, to everybody else, Meanie, Brandon Gooden, Adam J, Teresa, Stacy, Zach, everybody, Sean, make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff, sharing on the Facebook, sharing on the YouTube. Make sure that you're following Sick Podcast Anvil Show on Twitter as well. It's called X. I call it Twitter because I'm not going to call it X.
It's hard. Twitter's been around for so long, and then you change the name. It's hard to adjust back over to something new.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I don't care. So
hey, I will mention Meanie's got a new article out. So make sure you guys go to Sick's website, check out his article, share it around, get a good laugh out of it. I have not had a chance to read it yet, but knowing the way this man writes, you're going to get a good laugh. There you go, thesickpodcast.com.
Yes.
You can find it there.
Yes, absolutely.
So give it a read, give it a laugh, give it a share. And Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but they can comment on the website to your article directly. Yes? I believe so. But I've been wrong before, so I might be wrong on that too.
Yeah. Even if it's not, then you know what? You comment in here. Comment on the Facebook page. Comment on the Twitter page. Comment on the YouTube videos. Let us know what you think. So even if you don't do it there, let us know that you're reading it by you do that. And you're right, Teresa. CUNT. See you next time. All right. Please don't spell that out phonetically. It goes against my morals and principles. However, I have to say it because, verbatim, that's fine. You know what? With that being said, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us on Sick Podcast Anvil Show.
Thursday.
Yep. Sammy, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.